Hi everyone and welcome to Positively Kimmie. I am Kimmie. If you are new here, welcome. This is a safe space. And if you're one of my returning subscribers and my besties, hi guys, how are you? I hope you're all having an amazing day. Welcome to What's Up Wednesday. Is it a thumbs up week? Thumbs down week, one of each, which is mostly the way life works. And you get to know me a little bit better in the chaos that is Kimmie in her life. And if you leave me comments down below, I get to know you a little bit better. And we develop true friendships because I've made a lot of really, really good friends and people I absolutely adore and love from having a YouTube channel, and most of them are content creators and some of you are not, but I feel the closeness between us and I just want to incorporate that into everything that I do because you guys just make me smile and I love you, and that's that. So let's just jump in and I'm going to tell you about my week because there have been some things that have happened. The first thing is on Saturday, there was a Greek festival in my town, and I love Greek food. I love Greek food. I give me a lamb gyro any day of the week, spinach pie, all that stuff that, is too heavy for me and that I couldn't eat at one time because my stomach was not good, but it is good now. So we're excited about that. But you had to park. We parked in handicap parking because I am disabled and have trouble walking in with my balance and stuff. So I went with my ex-husband. We met my son, daughter-in-law, and my grandson there, and her mother and her brother. My other son was there, and so was the godmother to my grandson. And we just had the nicest time. You walk about a mile before you even hit the festival, which is beautiful because it's on the Long Island Sound, and it unfortunately was very low tide, so it was a little natty and a little smelly, but it's a beautiful area that they just redid, and they have these homes up and condos and things like that, and they have benches I would say probably about every 20 to 30 feet. So if you get tired, you can sit. They have chase lounges out that are made of wood, and it's just very, very pretty. They have a dog park there, and there was so much room at the end of this that it took a while to get through it. But we meet up with everybody, and the first thing we want to do is eat, of course, because we're all starving. It was 6 o'clock at night, and most of us hadn't eaten for most of the day because we wanted to save our appetites for the Greek festival. And they had it done so well that you went and paid for your food, and then you took your ticket to one of 4 trucks that were all making the exact same thing. And you would present your ticket on the shortest line, which was awesome. And then they would let someone out and someone else pay. And it was just like an assembly line that was done very, very well. Let me put this down a little bit. There we go. So that was really good. I had a lamb gyro. It was a little too thin, the lamb. And I know you're not going to get big cuts of lamb or, the long, because it is a festival. But it was cold by the time we got it to our table. But it was fine because when you have a craving for something and you know you're going to get it, it's like the best feeling in the world. And it was the cutest thing. We were sitting in where they had the food, which they also had live music, and they had lights flashing on the ceiling and stuff. And my grandson is looking at everything, and he was sitting with his other grandmother, who he calls Abu, and we don't know where he came up with that, but that's her name. And my son is known as Agu. His godfather is known as Agu. Because when he was a baby, he used to be like, Agu, Aguchi Gucci Goo. So that's what he grew up calling him, and it's the cutest little thing. You guys know I just light up when I talk about this child, but it was so cute. They had dancers dancing to the live music of traditional Greek dances as we're eating and we're being entertained. And in one spot, it was very cute because they had a linen in their hand, and they're doing this with the linen and, putting their arm like this and just waving it around. So my grandson, being that he's a sponge at this point and takes in so much stuff, is sitting there, and he grabs his napkin and he's doing this, and he's holding everyone's hands and going like this, and we just had the best time. They had a whole bunch of little booths as you were walking up, and they would share with you Greek drinks. They had raffles, and they had kiddie rides, and they had other food vendors down further, but we didn't know about that in the beginning because we just went in and beelined right for the Greek food. But if you wanted tacos or hamburgers, they did have that further down. And we just had a really good time. But because it was so low tide, the gnats and the mosquitoes were a real thing. Like, it was very buggy at one point, and my grandson was getting like little gnats near his eyes, and I was getting bitten, and I'm highly allergic to mosquito bites. Like, I get welts on me like this from having a mosquito bite. And so we ended up leaving around 8 o'clock, and it was just the nicest event that we went to, and we were so glad to have gone, and it was just nice. Then on Monday, I text my daughter-in-law, and I was like, can my grandson come over for a play date, please? And she's like, sure. She's like, meet us outside because he'll want to play outside for a little while. And we're going to, you can take him while I'm preparing dinner. And I was like, great. That's exactly what I want to do. So I meet him outside, and my sister bought him this really ingenious thing. And when I get it back, I will show you. I have ordered it, so when I get them in, I'll show you. But if you have young kids or if you have grandchildren, they have an ice pop holder, and it's made out of cloth material, and it's about this big by this high, and you put the ice pop in the little pocket so their hands don't get cold and they don't get drool all over the place, or like the liquid from the ice pop all over the place. My sister had found that on Temu, and then I ordered a whole bunch, some from my house, some from their house. And he loved it because we usually wrapped paper towel around his ice pops so his hands didn't get cold, because he has a little bit of eczema here and there. And when your hands get cold or moist, you can, dry it out and get really itchy and things like that. Sorry about that. So when I get those in, they also had where you stick, if you have like a regular ice cream, with the stick, you stick the stick into a plastic thing, and around it is like this, so anything that is going to melt is going to go in there, and it's about that high. And I'm getting those for him too because he likes ice cream, especially if someone else is eating it. He'll want to take it and slobber all over it, which is awesome. And then you let him keep it, but at least this way it doesn't drip all over you. So when I get those in my next Temu order, not the one you're going to see on Tuesday, but it should be the one after that, I can't wait to show you guys these things. I might do a TikTok on it, or Instagram reel or something like that about it, because they're really such an awesome idea. And now that summer is almost here, you're going to be giving your grandchildren ice pops, maybe, if you do. And this is a good way for them to not make such a mess and to keep their little hands, protected. So anyway, I digress from that. So we had a great time at the festival. Then so Monday comes, and I'm giving him his ice pop, and he wants to walk to my house. My daughter-in-law lives in an apartment, and my son live in an apartment a few buildings away from me. So he's walking, and I said, no, let's stay outside and go for a walk. Mimaw needs to walk. And he's like, no, Mimaw's house. And I was like, okay, we'll go to Mimaw's house. He asked for another ice pop. And when she picked him up from school, they had told her that he had fallen in school. And he was at the water fountain getting a drink of water or washing his hands. We're not exactly sure on that. And he fell backwards onto his head, into the back of his head, like his neck area. And she's like, if you see anything or if he's not acting right, please let me know. So I have him, and he's sitting here, and every once in a while he'd be like, ow, and, do one of these things. And I'm like, Dom, what's hurting you? And he would be like, hurt here, boo-boo here, boo-boo here, boo-boo here, and he's pointing to his shoulder. And you could see like a scratch like right here where he had fallen. But the fact that he was having pain in his head, so as a mimaw, I said, do you have a headache? And he's looking at me like, I don't know, I'm two. What do I know about a headache? And so I bring him home because he wasn't acting himself and he was complaining a lot. I bring him home. I said, listen, he's been complaining. He's complaining about his neck. He's complaining about his shoulder. He's complaining about his head, right in between his eyes, and they decided to bring him to get checked. And they went to the pediatrician's office, and thankfully he's fine. He had no concussion. They just said to watch him at the time, make sure he didn't fall asleep, make sure he wasn't sleepy, and things like that, and to make sure his balance was okay. But the daycare never called to tell them. It wasn't until she picked him up that she knew he had fallen. And when he fell back and didn't cry. And that bothers me because I would think that you would cry when you fall, and that means you're okay. It means you didn't lose consciousness or anything like that. He was stunned and in shock and just kept saying hurt, hurt. And so I'm glad they brought him to get checked, but there was no incident report. My son called up, and he's just like a pit bull when it comes to his son, and he was just like, listen, there was no incident report. I'm bringing him to the pediatrician's office. You are going to pay for it because you have to let them know before you go to a doctor so they can write up stuff and then put it in through their schooling thing, and it gets paid for that way. They don't use their insurance for that. And he's like, I'm bringing him up. The teachers weren't there at the time. He's like, I want to know why we weren't notified, why he was not offered ice, any of those things. So, it ended up getting straightened out. This is the second time that's happened at this daycare. It's more like a school than a daycare, but, you can't do that. You have to notify the parents when your children get hurt. You have to write it up. The teacher should have come out and talked to them and said, this is what happened, this is what we did, he seemed okay. But you have to still notify the parents so they can make the decision whether or not they want to take the child to the doctor or not. So that he's fine and everything's good and he's awesome. So then I told you last week that the plumbers were here and they fixed my leak, which they did. Unfortunately, since they have fixed my leak, there is no hot water. No hot water. Like, it doesn't even get tepid. They gave us a faucet with a handle on it that goes from right to left. Left would be the hot water, right would be the cold water, but it stops right here, so you can't get any hot water. And we called them today, and hopefully they'll be here before 6 months so we can take nice showers instead of freezing your bits off and stuff like that, because it is not pleasant to take a cold shower every single day. And it's just, I need warm water constantly. Like, I need to take a hot shower. I don't like to take cold showers. So that was that. And hopefully they'll be coming to do that. Now, I spoke to my friend, who I do consider a friend, Sandy. She's at My Nutty Nook, and I was telling her that I manifest every day and I do my affirmations every day. And that did not surprise you, Sandy, and I appreciate that because that says a lot about me. I always look at my glass as not half full or half empty, but refillable, so you're never stuck in one situation. And you can look at things and make it a negative, or you can look at things and make it a positive. And I always try and be very, very positive. And you're going to have your days where things are just going to get to you and you're not going to feel like being happy-go-lucky all the time. But you still have to train your mind to look at things in a positive light. Otherwise the weight of the world will be on your shoulders. And she had gotten these questions from somebody, and they asked what she does, and I wanted to let you know, in order to stay positive, in order to stay focused, in order for me to stay centered, I manifest every day and I do my affirmations every day. She was talking about doing a high five in the mirror when she wakes up. Well, when I wake up, after I go to the bathroom, I sit down and I have a journal that I write my affirmations in. I am kind, I am strong, I am tough, I am loved, I am valued, I matter, I am worthy, I am beautiful, I am spiritual, I am just everything, all good things. I am healthy, I am happy, I am grateful, I am thankful. I could rattle these off all day long, and I write them down because I like to journal and I like to see things in writing. And then I do my manifesting for things that I'm hoping to come true, and most of the times they do, and it might be at a slower pace than I would like, but it's always in God's timing, and I trust him. And I think that if you want to start your day on a positive outlook, she has something that's called Self-Care Sunday and Mask Monday. Check her out because she is awesome. She is so lovely, and I love that video of hers, and I love the questions she was given, and her answers, and her candidness, and her honesty, and her positivity. It inspires me as well. So please go check out my friend Sandy. I love you. I think you're awesome. At My Nutty Nook, I'll have her page listed in the comment section below, in the description box below. So that was my week. I hope you guys all had your own great week and not, looked at things in a positive light, and just are awesome. I hope you're having an awesome day. I hope you're having a great week. And I just want to let you know you're doing great. If you get up every morning and you brush your hair, you brush your teeth, just the act of getting up in the morning is a gift. So make sure you treat it that way, and make sure you're thankful and grateful. And I wish you abundance and love. And in the meantime, be happy, be healthy, be blessed, and most of all, be positively you, because there's no one else quite like you, and that makes me so incredibly happy. You guys rock. Love you.